Hello, everybody. Sean Higgs, Chip Chirimbes coming at you. It's the Friday. I call it the Friday free for all. No more football Friday. It's more basketball. We can't use anything for basketball for Friday. It doesn't rhyme. So just go to free for all. College hoops, NBA, spring training.
Yeah.
Me and Chip talking. We're going to go off the rails to talk about something that's non-gambling related. That's the way we do things here at Winner Circle on a Friday. Like, subscribe, notification bell on so you know each and every day. Listen, free pick videos here, college hoops, NBA, soon to be baseball at the Winner Circle YouTube. If you want our premium stuff, we got a sponsor, gamblersworld.net. Be sure to follow them, support me, Chip, the rest of the cappers, and the show just in general. Buy a package. We got discounted stuff going on. The March Madness package is up. Take you through the championship game for just, I think it's $2.99. You can't beat that. Daily passes for $69.99, which works on a weekend when, Chip, even during the week, could have 3 or 4 packages up. You make a smart money move, get a better package. 3 $7.38 packages guaranteed. We show you a profit, or we credit you back if we don't show you wins over that time. But let's be honest. We have a leaderboard to see how we do. Chances are you're going to make money over 3 days, 7 days, 30 days even. So it's a good little thing to make you money. But enough of that. I'll throw that in there as the show goes on. We do live shows here. It used to be the Friday football. Now it's kind of like a little bit of dull time before the tournament start, Chip. Well, March 2nd, the A-Sun tips off. But we got other stuff. I told you to take the Cubbies yesterday. There you go. Cubbies winner for everybody out there, degenerate style. I do sort of like the Cubs again today, believe it or not. And I like the Tampa Bay Rays. They'll be throwing out that first pitch shortly. I'm just saying, if you want to bet something today, I would lean towards the Tampa Bay Rays here over the Yankees.
Sean, you're a gambler.
Yeah, that's totally gambling when you're losing.
You have to have action.
Listen, I didn't put that on the side or nothing. I'm just saying, it's.
No, I know. I'm teasing
people like to bet baseball. And listen, the Cubby thing was just, I'm going to fade the Dodgers. A big fave. Everybody thinks is like, oh, you got to take the Dodgers. This is spring training.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, you got guys coming back from injuries. You got guys who are injury prone. You think they're going to run out here in February and their starter's going to throw 6 innings? That's not what you're getting here.
No.
I look for a team that's got something to prove. A bunch of young guys got to come in trying to earn spots. That's not what the Dodgers are. Dodgers are a bunch of veterans. Can we get to the World Series, please? Like, they're not worried about February baseball.
Sean, I feel much better about the preseason for football. I don't do any basketball preseason either. And baseball, I've really never considered because of the way they split squads and the way they're playing all the time. But I think we have a big advantage, and I know that Scott feels the same way, that we have a big advantage during football there's so much time between games, and we sit there with the number and can evaluate who's going to play. They tell you. But in baseball, I think it's really tough. I commend you. You come up with winners like this. We talked about this before. A winner's a winner. They're going to pay you full amount anyway. So I don't begrudge it at all.
And also, listen, NFL comes, you're going to have a joke week 1. The coaches say we're going to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
It's a little bit, I hate to say it's easier to handicap because it's not. You can still have all the information, still end up a loser.
It's still gambling,
Yes. If it wasn't that, if it was that great and everything was laid out, it would be stealing, right? That's not the case.
Yeah.
But as you said, NFL, you're going to have 2 games where you can kind of break down and know X, Y, Z. So you can kind of come to a better conclusion of what you think will happen. Wherein, like you said, spring training baseball, maybe one veteran's going to get on a bus for a 2-hour ride. They do, like yesterday with the Cubs, I knew all 5. I knew every pitcher that was going to come in that game. Okay, that's an advantage. When the other team's not telling you, we're going to play it by ear, I'll go with the team that's got a little bit of organization to go.
Yeah. I'll
take the organized team. I'm not taking the guy who's running around the front of this house trying to pack his car. He didn't realize he had a vacation. So again, if I did end up betting that yesterday. I put $100 on it just for poops and giggles. Like, I'll take a shot on him. I did like everything I said about him. Yeah. And today's game, it would have been Tampa. I didn't play the Tampa game, but I'll see. If it wins today, I'll be like, oh, damn it! Now I got to, Then on Saturday, I'll be like, all right, I'm two for two. I got to find something.
Well,
but That's where you get in trouble.
I'm pretty happy with the basketball as it is. It hit a mega buck winner in the NBA, which now, believe it or not, the best bets are 27-9. And Sean, that comes out to 75%. That was Indiana over Memphis last night. 3-pack up there right now for today's NBA action. The baseball, I just can't do it, Sean. I just can't do it. I'm looking forward to the season starting, of course. But, in preseason, even if you know the pitchers are throwing, it's tough to gauge five different guys going out there.
Yeah, I don't know who's throwing, but yet you're putting NBA picks out the night before or early in the morning, and you're cashing 59%, 117 and 80 with NBA, where you don't even know who's playing tonight. So
we're betting teams. It's a team concept, Sean. The individuals comprise the team, and the individuals really don't even have to be there. Look at this Memphis team. I mean, this Ja Morant and a number of players been out the entire season. And Dallas last game out had 5 players missing, and they went out right over Miami. So it's the team concept is still prevails over the individual, and it's a sin what happened to Wembanyama, because boy, I enjoyed just reading the numbers and reading the box scores when he plays. And 21 years old now, blood clot, he's down for the rest of the year. That's sinful.
I come in, I joke about LaFloppy and old Steph Curry, that he's not as good as Draza Petrovic, and I call Wemby like a giraffe. He should be dunking the ball more, but it's terrible for the league because this is supposed to be one of your faces going into the future, and the kid's got a blood clot, and that could kill you. He was one of the bright spots. I mean, he wasn't arrogant, he wasn't cocky, he wasn't in your face. He was 21. He was humble. He was a great player. I was looking forward to his career just to see how it was going to come together, and I'd hate to see it derailed. I really would. I think I think it hurts the fans as well as the Spurs and him, of course, individually. Oh, for sure. I mean, the Spurs, it's, look at them last night. I think I was doing a show. I said, take the Spurs.
Yeah.
Right. It was going to be one kind of like rally around the team. It was, the line didn't move. It was still 3. And you're thinking, oh, it's a big bad Suns with Kevin Durant. Well, they're not even going to make the playoffs. I don't think Suns.
I was afraid to take them tonight.
I like Detroit tonight. I think Detroit, I think last night was win it. For the Gipper, winning for Wemby, we're going to do this. And I could see just kind of like a flat spot here. Detroit is rested, where you got the Spurs in a back-to-back. Could be a little flat. Yesterday is one thing. We're going to come out and win it for the city, win it for a guy. Now reality sets in. How do you have that in you to keep going, to feed off that?
Well, they're professionals. They're supposed to,
listen. We've seen the Mavericks keep winning. They lose their guys.
Like I said, a lot of times the injured team becomes the bettable team, and a star is born. These guys are pros. They're capable. Even like the 10th man on that roster should be able to play somewhat.
I see you're also number 3 overall in college basketball, Chip.
Yeah, and I've had a week run. And Saturday, I'm having my second college game of the year, conference game of the year. And I don't want to reveal who's playing, but we hit the first one. We won the first one in the Big East early in December. And this is a time I feel very confident about this college game tomorrow, Sean. And I hit 2 straight best bets with Missouri and Auburn over Alabama. And going to come back with another one right now, so tomorrow on Saturday.
I had I've just been kind of flat. Like we've talked about it. I'm just like, I just put them out. I don't really go into like a game in a week or month. I'm throwing them all out there, and we go.
Oh.
5-1 yesterday. I hit 4 dogs outright. 4 doggies outright, and they were decent dogs, plus 6.5, plus 7. I mean, so we'll see.
But I'm looking for the serious player. I'm looking for the bigger player, guy that's willing to take a step out and have confidence in one game, and that's what we're looking to do. And so that's why I was always called the A play, Sean, because I just give one play, the single strongest play, and now I like to differentiate it from, say, ordinary best bet as opposed to a top-rated, highest-rated game.
Yeah, I've always, whenever I've kind of separated, that game loses, and I'm like, I go 4-1.
Yeah,
and someone's gonna be upset. Again, basketball, college hoops. I have 500 games this season already.
A lot of action, my friend.
So it's different. I just kind of flat them out, and you're looking for the guy who just wants to come in and bang a game for 2,000-3,000. Where I'm like, well, spread it around.
Exactly. Exactly.
People bet differently.
It's any way you can win. God bless. Like I said, I'm in awe that you've held your percentage with that number and volume of releases, and that's tremendous.
I'm waiting for it to crash. Like honestly, I mean, you can't. I mean, 60%. It's a high number. I know.
Yeah.
I know in the Twitter Discord world of nonsensical sports bettors now, they think that's I can do that. That's easy to do.
Everybody can pick 2 out of 3.
It's not easy to do. I mean, I always say, right, I'm happy with 54, 55%, grind along, that's wins, but people don't want to see that. They want that 7-0 every day parlay ticket. Look at this. I tell you, for $800 or whatever they do,
With the volume of game if you go 55%, you're doing wonderful.
I think I'm doing all right,
Yeah, no. Just like I just said. I'm amazed.
You got
not amazed that you can win, not just to maintain that you can maintain this over such a huge volume.
Yeah. I mean, it's been since November, hasn't stopped.
I know.
I mean, again, I don't like to – there's going to be a losing streak. You think I'd have a losing streak.
It happens. Nobody wins every day, Sean. Nobody.
Yep. No, it'll come, and then people will be like, this guy stinks. Whatever. That's life. I'll be fine. We'll be all right.
That's another thing. They catch you in a cycle, and sometimes, you're at the end of what's good, and you sit and you go in the tank. I mean, it's a tough bracket you were in right here. It's a hard way to make an easy living, isn't it? I mean, I know how much time do you put in to do all of those games?
Oh, I'll get off. We'll do this for about an hour. I will start printing out stuff for Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably take a 2-hour break away from the camera. I've been on screen since about 8:15 this morning, nonstop.
Yeah, and that'll help the viewers too.
So, yeah, I'll get people with nightmares. And then I'll jump back 4 o'clock. I'll get the lines for tomorrow. And I write them down. I don't even if the line's there, I don't bet. I write them down. Then I compare everything, and I go back. And sometimes they move.
Yeah.
Whatever. If they move, they move. I'll leave little marks because, like I said, as much as I'm doing like 6 or 8 games, like I might have like 8 games. I got 16 games that kind of fit my little system tomorrow. Right. Actually, 21 total, but some of those are the wacky conferences that have not been good this month. I mentioned the other day they're 23 and 40 ATS, so they are not cashing. So I got to kind of weed those out, and then I look at my remaining 16 and go from there. Whittle that down to half.
Usually I have on a Saturday for football or even basketball here. I break it down. It's like 10 or 12 games that you check and you list it, and then you read it. You whittle it down from there.
Yep.
You try to come up with 3 or 5. Always an odd number of games, so we give everybody a chance to win. You don't want to go 1-1. We want to go 2-1, or we want to go 3-2 at worst.
But I'll throw them on the site, whether there's 4, 8, 16. I'll put them all up, but I only put a package or 2 up. I'll put the different package up for 3 packs. But that's why I say, buy a weekly pass because you're going to get 60 games.
Yeah.
And do as you will. Do as you will. But I had our guy Gio up there for hello, and then we were talking about games. But Gio's in the house. Timothy's in the house. And, of course, the Ninja. NBA is a real sport. We talk about college basketball. Ninja is not an NBA guy. It's a real sport. People win. People bet on it. We got the best in the biz right here with us today.
We can win.
We'll talk to college basketball for tomorrow. NBA ratings go down for a good reason. Oh, yeah. Well, it is. It's a terrible product. I mean, who wants to watch guys just come up, dribble 4 times, and shoot a 3-pointer from 37 feet?
58 attempts at one game yesterday from one team.
We got a couple games loaded up here for in the chat here for tonight. So we got the Michigan State and Michigan 2.5 here with the total. This was a 3.5 last night, Chip.
Yeah.
The total, I think it's down to even 150. I saw people posting like under. I don't know. For me, I would lean Sparty. They're playing well. My key is I like to look past, and I'm thinking ahead of time. I'm taking Maryland next game. Maryland's got Sparty next week in Maryland. That is where I want to be Sparty. I'm not going to run to get this game. Next game, I'll be into the Sparty crowd, but I'll be fading them against Maryland. But I do like them here with the points.
The way they came back against Illinois, I thought they'd have a lull next time out, and Izzo's always doing a great job, 21-5. one startling thing when you start looking, and Michigan's 25, when you start looking at the stats and comparing stuff, Michigan undefeated at home right now, so they're 12-0, but
yeah,
they've won 6 in a row, and yet they're 1-9 against the number in their last 10 games. And the number's all we really, think about and interpret stuff. Michigan State 12-3 in conference, Michigan 12-2. Classic battle between these two, in a great situation. Michigan State only has 2 players averaging double figures. Well, what kind of a job is this Izzo doing? They got 2 players in double figures, and Michigan's got a pair of 7-footers. They had a bad spell there. They lost a few games in a row, and I started thinking, I think they lost 4 or 5, really. But I started thinking that, they're falling apart. But they've come back strong. They've won 6 in a row now, the Wolverines have. And 3.5 is a strong number. When I saw that number last night, like you did, my first impression or thoughts were, Izzo plus 3.5. That's a lot of points. I'd be willing to take it. And now it's under a bucket. And this is what this comes down to. It could be a tie game. Someone throws up a 3-pointer and the game's over. So I don't have a side on this one. I do have a side on the other game out there tonight, the big profile game, but not on this one. I think it's a really tough call.
Izzo, they were 18-4. And then it was like, here comes some good teams, right? Because they just lost 2 on the road. And then all of a sudden, it's like, here comes Oregon, Indiana, Illinois, Purdue, Michigan. Yeah. They got Wisconsin, Maryland on the. So you're thinking this 18-4 is going to turn into 20-10 or something.
29,
but they beat Oregon. The Indiana game, I can chalk that up as loss. That was a tough spot because that was the Izzo. We're going to unfurl the banner. He's the best ever.
Right,
and Indiana coach was walking out the door. That was like a kind of a bad spot for him, and that's what happened. They, not only did they lose, that should have been a 71-67 cover in an ugly game. It went the other way.
Right.
And how'd they respond after that? Beat Illinois on the road. You beat Purdue pretty handily. The team that I thought would maybe fall apart, the tough part of their schedule, has just won 3 out of 4, and that the loss to me isn't even a bad loss. It was a situational spot where, all right, that makes sense to me. I can see them losing in that spot. And you mentioned the Michigan 1-9 ATS run. Again, 3.5 looks good because they are losing games laying 3.5 in winning by 2 and 3.
Right.
Like you said, it gets under those things here. It's that 1.5 or 2. You're like, oh no, you wanted that extra bucket when it's 70-67, when it's 72-71 or something.
Right.
It's a no play for me. I didn't play this game.
I didn't play it.
And we got the second big game here is the Marquette Nova game.
Right.
And this is flipped. Villanova, or excuse me, was Villanova favored yesterday? I thought they were. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, Marquette was the favorite overnight. I think it was.
Was it still overnight? Okay. But I look at this game as same as the St. John's, same as the UConn, same as the who else was that in that spot? Creighton. They were like a 1-point, 2-point kind of fave dog kind of thing. They've won 2 out of 3 in that situation. And I don't love the coach, but how easy go run in here and be like, oh, you just got to take Marquette, Villanova, not a good coach team, not playing well, not winning games. They've lost 2 in a row. Sign me up. You beat St. John's here. You beat UConn here. I think you beat Marquette here. The line tells me I got to take Villanova.
Well, Marquette is coming off a game where they beat Seton Hall and DePaul, and just the bottom feeders in the Big East, and it's really not putting up much competition. I don't think it's good for a team to come off a really soft opponent into a tougher opponent. Villanova, of course, they're down. They're not what they have been in recent years, or at least championship years. But they are 12-3 at home, 8-8 in the conference. But Seton Hall, against Seton Hall, Marquette shot 54% from the field, 44% from 3-point line, and of course they romped with those kind of numbers. They had to win, but it's a tough call here, like you said, because Villanova has shown that they are capable. They beat St. John's, and they're 12-3 at home, and yet Marquette seems to be the higher echelon part of the Big East.
No, Marquette. I do like the Marquette team, but in this spot here, it's a Nova or nothing for me.
And they already beat them by 10, Sean, or by 13 rather, at home earlier, in about 3 weeks ago, January 24th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
look, you look at they've won 8 in a row versus these guys.
And one thing you got to say about, particularly in college, I always say the beat goes on, where a team just continually beats up somebody else continuously, year after year, and college football particularly.
We got our Monday, Thursday buddy in the house here. He's getting ready for spring training.
What happened to him?
What do you mean? This is actually how I normally look.
Oh, really? Where you at?
So
it's casual Friday. No, he doesn't need. There's no collar. There's no button down. He's got a little shirt and a hat. He's ready to go.
I just finished up. What did I just finish up something?
Pickleball.
I just did my video on my
pickleball.
Pickleball.
Now the knee does not allow pickleball. We can do a little bit of we can walk a long ways.
Go out and play some golf.
The back took care of that years ago, and so no, just crumbling. You know how this goes. You fall apart slowly. Just nothing in a hurry. You just kind of crumble a little bit at a time.
I know. Believe me.
Doug,
what are you talking about?
We're just talking about the Nova Marquette game, but I want to get you Shoot the Rock college basketball article out today at Gamblers World.
That is correct. The talk about 10 different games that are coming on this weekend. 2 of them tonight, 6 on Saturday, and 2 on Sunday. So some different stuff, and some of the games I think that you guys were going to talk about. I got my crazy trend of the week. It has to do with one of them. I think you guys are familiar with. Kind of season North Carolina's had. Not very good. And but the other one though, and because I'm here, I know more about it. But Grand Canyon University, went to the NCAA tournament last year, looked really good. Those 2 teams are 2 of the worst teams to bet on in all of college basketball. In fact, 2 of the 3 worst teams to bet on in college basketball right now. So that's a bit of a surprise, and Hubert Davis deserves a lot of credit for screwing up North Carolina. I will say that because here's have a big man. Okay. Any good big man pretty much has gone to North Carolina for literally decades. And this year they don't have anybody. So that's a pretty sad situation. And then I just found something else that was just kind of interesting. So people can go and check it at gamblersworld.com is, I found something on pace, pace of play, and I found 5 different teams: Drake, North Texas, Houston, Townsend, and St. Mary's. 5 of the 11 slowest pace teams. And 4 of them are in first place, and North Texas is in second in Conference USA. So just talk about that, and as you might imagine, not a big.
Don't give it all away. Let them go get it. Don't get it all away.
Yeah, no, just say. But then with the unders, as you might expect, they're unders. It's not decisive, but it's interesting. So anyway, enough about that. But yeah, check it out.
Grand Canyon, are they antelopes or are they coyotes? What are they out there?
I think is it the antelopes? It's not coyotes. I think it's the antelopes.
Right.
I'm
thinking Phoenix Coyotes. You have Phoenix Coyotes on the ice.
Yeah. They got there. That, by the way, that it's a beautiful campus where it's at. It's right in the city, and it's just kind of like cut out, and it's really
Thunder Dan used to coach them, right? Thunder Dan.
That in the Grand Canyon.
Yep. Yeah. But no, it's actually it's a private type school that is Christian based. Okay, that's their deal there. But and I tell you what, it's going to a basketball game. I've been to one, unbelievably fun. Okay, it is so much fun there. The crowd is wild. The place is always sold out. They've invested a lot of money to make it happen, and it's a great atmosphere. The band, the whole works. It's a lot of fun.
You mentioned Carolina. The other day, there were like 10-point faves over State. I'm like, man, why not take NC State? And then, of course, Carolina comes out and crushes them by 20-some points. I still want to take Virginia tomorrow plus double digits. Like, how are you sold on North Carolina? Okay, they've won 3 out of 4, but are they just gonna somehow get to 20 wins and be put in the tournament because they're North Carolina with 20 wins?
Oh,
Doug, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
They're going to get there.
Yeah.
If they basically beat everybody but Duke, okay, in the regular season, and they get to the semifinals, okay, they're in. I mean, it's just because, and
Duke is looking better and better every day.
What's that?
I said Duke is looking better and better to me, at least every time out.
I mean, I don't, other than Auburn, I don't know who's better than Duke, and I'm not even sure they're that much better.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys.
We were talking about that earlier. I said I kind of like Duke tomorrow. If it's going to be like a 7 or an 8 over Arizona or over Illinois at MSG, I like Duke.
Yeah, because Illinois is still dealing with. You saw it the other night against Wisconsin. They got a number of guys injured, and they got the flu bug going through the team really bad. I think two guys tried to play last week, and they played about 5 minutes. And then so they had to go into the double-digit numbers for guys off the bench. Guys that are 11, 12, and 13 on the team. Yeah, so if anything, Duke 11 or less,
you'd go to 11. Wow,
I would.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, their defense can lock them up. I mean, Illinois can score, but they got to have everybody healthy, and their youth. I mean, all year everybody was talking about Illinois, saying, look at the potential of this team. Look at the potential of this team. They kept getting beat. Well, kind of like in North Carolina. At some point, you have to win, right? So yeah, and that and the other team that I really like, and in fact, I don't know if you saw the little video. The Illinois coach Brent Underwood. He was after the game when they lost to Wisconsin. He went and saw some players in the hallway, and he was talking to him. And he just said, "Hey, you know what? You guys are really good. I really like your team. You got veteran guys." He goes, "That's exactly what we had last year. We got to the Elite Eight. I think you guys can do the same thing." So it's pretty nice touch, for a coach to do that.
I want to get back to Chip here in North Carolina to their wins. They're going to be favored over Virginia. They're at FSU, who's got the same record as them. Miami, who's got 10 wins, are terrible. Virginia Tech on the road, again, a so-so team. You should maybe chalk up 3 wins here, and then you end the season with Duke. Can you get? I think they'll get one in the tournament. They're going to be a tournament team at 20 and 13 or whatever they're going to be, 20 and 14. This is where we're going. Let's expand the tournament there, Chip. We're going to add 70 teams, and you're going to get these North Carolina. Well, not just North Carolina, but it's going to be these bottom SEC, ACC, Big Ten teams that are 21 and 15. Why?
Well, because Houston's going to beat them all. That's why. It doesn't matter. Number 1 defense in the country. I like that team. I really do.
Can I get
they got a tough game this weekend with
Valley?
Iowa State. What's that?
Can I get 2 teams out of Missouri Valley instead? Can I get Drake and Bradley are both going to have 25 wins or something instead of
Drake's got to be there, no?
One of those guys aren't going to make it because they're going to lose the conference tournament. It's a joke.
Yeah,
they can send their poison pen letter to St. John's and let Rick Pitino read it.
Come on.
He's made. That's actually St. John's got an interesting game. I mean, they can make their stamp of approval as to who the best team is. Not that they haven't already, but they play Connecticut on Sunday at home. Yeah. So that'll be. I would think there'd be a lot of motivation for them.
Connecticut's been hurting for the most part. Their big guy's been out, and he was their leading scorer and rebounder.
Kempom's got that St. John's 8.
Okay.
St. John's is 8 over Connecticut tomorrow?
Sunday.
That's
a Kempom number. So you figured maybe they'll shade it to a 7 or something.
Yeah, that's a big number.
That's a big number. I mean, you almost want to take UConn. You're going to give me 7 or 8 points with UConn? You're going to be 6 points with UConn.
Huskies just aren't the same, though. I don't trust them at all. I'm from Connecticut, and I'm a big fan, of course, but I think they're kind of shaky right now. Hurley's going nuts.
Wasn't McNeely at or something? Their leading scorer was that for a while.
Yeah, Caleb. It's
a
big guy.
Yeah, he's been in and out of the lineup, but McNeely is their best player. I mean, he's a scorer. I mean, that's the thing that's nice about him. Has lots of different ways to put the ball in the basket. So yeah, he's tough. And you mentioned Bradley and Drake. Drake Sunday is at Northern Iowa, and Northern Iowa has quietly come up through, and Northern Iowa is just one game out now of behind Drake for the Missouri Valley, so they can actually tie them for the lead this weekend. So I like some of these other games that
You're
are
right. I mentioned
games.
Bradley. Northern Iowa is number 2.
Yeah, Northern Iowa's good. I mean, they play really good. They've had coach has been there for, 15 years and does a real good job, plays a really tough non-conference schedule every year and gets beat up a little bit, but then they hit the Valley and they're ready to go.
Ninja said Marquette. No. Nova for me. We were talking about that when you just jumped in. You got an opinion on that game?
What is it, 3?
1.5.
1.5. I mean, I like Villanova, but that's I don't know. It's not enough points for me. At 1.5. I know they're 13-2 at home. Really strong. And Marquette's they're doing the usual Marquette late season fade a little bit. Just kind of wobbling a little bit.
I see the one. It's like I'm taking over. They're begging. It's begging. Here comes the old fish and the old hook in my mouth to take Marquette there.
Well,
Stop
I definitely passed out.
Player prop here, Ninja hates the NBA, so here's a player prop. Ashur Thompson. I don't even know who this guy is. Apparently, he plays in the NBA. Alternate PRA or points and assists. Nathan likes it. Prime example: take Michigan money line. They win at home but don't cover. Yeah, I mean, Chip had mentioned they were 1-9 ATS. They had a losing at laying 2 and a 3.5 or something because they won by 1 and 2 or 1 and 2, however it worked out. Yeah, that's why I said if 3.5, Michigan State. It starts slipping under there. It's just a no play.
Agreed. Definitely agree on that one.
Thank you for the Austin Razor. Stops here. That's it for the comments. Next up in our there's really not much left for the Friday night marquee kind of stuff.
No.
Right? I mean, me, I love it. I got my MAC games going, AA Maction, we're ready to go. But there are marquee games on Saturday. And who we got loaded up here in the chat here? Tennessee and A&M. Again, we'll go off the KenPom kind of look at this as a first kind of look because some of these books just say, okay, this guy's got the number up. He has Tennessee -1. I kind of flip this. I would rather have A&M here. I got them at like a -2. So if you're going to give me a point at A&M, I'm going to take A&M at home here over Tennessee. I do like Tennessee, but I think sometimes they just go on these scoring droughts and they look bad. Not even bad. They look really bad sometimes. They look as bad as any kind of bad team at times. You're like, what the heck? We can say Alabama, the defense doesn't look good. You still scored 98 points. Tennessee looks bad. They score 40 points and lose by 30. That's not that could happen here, but the fact is that's what happens to these guys. I will lean give me some Aggie action here.
Sean, what's the total on this game?
It's looking like it's going to be about 128.
That's pretty low, and I would think it'd be an underplay. I mean, Tennessee's known for their defense. They're number 5 in the country. They're giving up 60.5 points, and A&M plays great defense as well. I think they're like 33 or something, Doug, and both of them are in top statistics as far as allowing low percentage of field goals from the opposition. And Texas A&M is 10th in the nation, only allowing 21.5 field goals a game. I think the game is supposed to go under. And this Tennessee, like you said, they go into droughts and have disappointing trips down the floor for 8-10 minutes at a time, and yet they're still playing tough defense. And like I said, Tennessee coming up the favorite was, sort of eyebrow raising.
Yeah, they got Tennessee favored here. I mean, I would lean A&M, but again, this is not on my card. This is not something I'm going to be run out at 12 noon tomorrow to bet. No, thank you.
Yeah, I like the under as well, Chip. I think that's the play of anything that goes into that game, and both of those offenses, like I said, they can just shut down. I mean, just the other night, they scored 56 points. A&M did at Mississippi State, and it's not like Mississippi State's a defensive juggernaut. I mean, they're a nice defensive team, right, but I mean, they're not great. So yeah, so I mean, so I plenty of motivation here, and these those early SEC games though haven't been necessarily close. That's the one thing that I've noticed this year on those. So we'll see. But yeah, I would agree that not much there. What do you guys think about Kentucky going to Alabama?
Yeah, that was the next one on the ticket here. I think I want to say Alabama bounces back after 2 in a row.
What's the number on this one?
Bama by 5.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they had that was a bang effect in my head. I had 2 best bets consecutively against this Alabama team, Auburn and Missouri, and I'm happy to have what I have. I'm looking to get out now, So Kentucky, of course, they come up with a big effort last time out, but they're only 2-5 on the road.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the thing too that what Alabama ran into. I mean, they ran into a really good defensive team in Auburn, and then they came up flat emotionally, and then they ran into a Missouri team that is excellent with on-ball defense, and they create a lot of turnovers, really shut down the passing lanes. Kentucky does none of those things. So to me that's the advantage of taking Alabama right there, back home and in that situation.
They already met once at Kentucky, and the Wildcats were 2.5-point favorites. Alabama comes up with 102-97 win outright. So, they've already played them once. There may be revenge on the Wildcats side here, but like you said, Alabama's they got to get refocused after those 2 big games.
As long as they're talking about Bama, let's move to Arkansas, and they're hosting Missouri. Missouri off the big win there. The early look here is Mizzou -2 at Arkansas. I'd have to look at Arkansas just based on Missouri. Hasn't lost this year or something? 1 loss since the calendar's turned. I don't know if they're going to come in and be favored on the road. I'd have to look at the Razorbacks. No, even if it's a point or 2, you're going to. I know it's tough going against red hot teams. I understand. That's the downfall. Like, how do you get in front of a team and it's only a pick 'em too? So I get it. If it loses, hey, they just got to win the game.
I'm surprised that number's that way, but Arkansas's come up and they've bitten a few people at times this year. I mean, they have the coaching. We know that.
Why I thought Missouri was doing better. They've actually lost 3 of their last 10. So
at the beginning of the year, I think they were really heavily touted, and I don't think they got off the mark as well as they would have liked.
Well, here we go. You start playing into January. Auburn, you lost at Auburn. You had that big win over Florida, so I guess that kind of sticks out in people's head. You win 83-82 as a 10-point dog. You lost to Texas by 8. You beat Mississippi State, who's not that good. You lost to Tennessee. You lost at home to A&M. I'm talking myself into maybe being on Arkansas as a premium play now tomorrow. I'm betting myself.
Yeah, Missouri is Sweet 16 ability. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, they are that good. It's just now just what do they do in that situation? I mean, I don't like this Arkansas team at all personally, and so I either I'd take Missouri or I'd pass. I just don't. There's just not enough there. They just don't play well enough, consistently enough. They've gotten better, in the last 3 weeks or so, but they're still. I don't know. And especially in a game like you said, if it's a pick 'em.
Calipari is there? It's his first year with Arkansas.
Yep.
All right.
What about the Ducks and Whiskey? I gotta say, I think Whiskey and Maryland are going to be the top 2 teams in the Big Ten right now.
Wisconsin, you got to deal with them. They got a couple of big men, and they were transitioned. They used to be a defensive team, and now they score like crazy.
Team with 55 points.
No, and the other thing I really like in terms of their defense, the amount of quickness that they have now more on the wings and then in the backcourt. And so that's, I think, where they've made a big adjustment offensively. And I think Greg Gard deserves a lot of credit. I mean, most preseason magazines had them 12th, this year coming into the season with guys that transferred out and what have you. And I mean, I would say this is their best offensive team since they went to the Final Four. Okay, when they lost
10-point pace tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, that's a pretty good size number, but Oregon on the road hasn't been all that great, So I don't know. It's worth further investigation, I guess, to me with them, or at least the first half play on Wisconsin, because
3-5-1 ATS, 5-4 straight up record for Oregon Ducks on the road here, so. Again, these lines, folks, we're taking them from KenPom Power Ratings. They're going to be adjusted just a little bit until, the real books get involved. But you get a lot of copy and pasters out there with these. So they are what they are. Who else? What do we got up in the chat? We got Iowa State and Houston. 9?
Wow.
Yeah.
9?
Wow.
Chip,
I love the coaching at Iowa State, but Houston's my dark horse. These are two defensive teams. I'm in shock here. You're giving me 9 with Iowa State. I'd be afraid of that one.
Thanks, Aaron.
I'm not actually. The line doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, Iowa State is not playing as well as they did a month ago. Okay, they had that 3-game losing streak. Their offense just disappeared. And now it's, they've played better since, but just that consistency, not that Houston's been great of late either. I mean, they've had a number of games, and I know, Chip, you're high on them. I'm not saying that I don't think they're, that they're not Final Four material. I'm not saying that at all. There's just, like I said the other day when we were talking about, to me, there's just a sameness that is creeping about this team. I mean, they do shoot the ball a little bit better. They have better big men that can score in the paint than they've had in the past. But, it's one of those things, I guess. I'm still in the boat on this team. Just, it's the same team. And so until they prove something otherwise, that they are, a true championship caliber team that can get to the final, I'm just still going to be hesitant. And especially, they had a couple of games. Now, they were better in their last one, but they had a couple of games there where the opposing teams were getting inside. I probably mentioned that here. The opposing teams were getting on the inside to them and scoring in the paint. And that's just something you don't normally see a lot of against Houston. And so that, now if they shut it down again, well, the rest of the regular season, that might, alter my opinion about them too.
They could be a bit like the Eagles were this year, where their failure in the playoffs last year just stuck with them so much that, that's what I was thinking. And they are the number one defensive team in the country, 57.6 points a game. And
Iowa State.
I was surprised because Iowa State, I love their coaching. I mean,
they lost by 17 at Kansas, 11 at Arizona, 7 at West Virginia, laying 7. And then they got that 19-point beatdown they lost in K-State. Maybe the 9 is justified. I mean, or something to that range, whatever range-wise it could be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it'd be a tough game either way to take, it seems.
Will be the last one on the ticket, then we'll get out of here. We don't have it posted, but St. Mary's and Gonzaga. The Mary's defense, I mean, they got Gonzaga here as a 5-point fave at KP. St. Mary's took care of business. Gonzaga, I grabbed early in the year after the Baylor game, and I was like, what? I like these guys. I took a future on them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for them to go, knock down the second round. This is not a vintage Gonzaga team. The fact that St. Mary's just they held the team to 39 points. They held another team to like 40 points. Defense travels. You're going to give me points here against, and I think they've won 3 out of 4 against these guys. If I'm correct, look it up. Yeah. You're going to give me points out. This is probably going to make my my card here a little St. Mary's action. I mean, they've won 3 out of the last 4. Okay, sign me up, St. Mary's as a dog. I already beat you this year. You're not that good this year, Gonzaga. I'm sorry. 7 losses.
I
Chip,
agree.
what do you think?
It's like catching up with Boise in football.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a tough one. The Gales have played them tough every time out, and this game's at St. Mary's, right, Sean? And
no, it's in Gonzaga.
It's in Gonzaga, and the Bulldogs are only 5.5. Is what you're telling me here?
Yes,
I have to go with St. Mary's.
Yeah,
my instinct is right now. I haven't done any work on the game, but I'm thinking the game's at St. Mary's, and Gonzaga's a favorite. So you're telling me it's at Gonzaga, and they're only 5.5. St. Mary's a chance to win this game.
And there's 2 other things on this game. Thing number 1 is that in past years, this was the last weekend of the year. Okay, right. These teams played the regular season, so I think it's wisely they moved it up, because typically then they play and then they come back basically 8 or 9 days later. They play for the championship.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think it was a good move to move it that way. I think the thing I would look at more is I would look at see what the total is, okay, on this game. And if the total is 130-ish or less, that favors St. Mary's. If it's 140 or higher, I think that favors Gonzaga. And I think a big thing too, that now you won't know this in advance, but in terms of who's going to win, or if you like to do some live betting, is see how the refs are calling the game. If they're blowing a tight whistle, that definitely favors Gonzaga, because St. Mary's is super physical on defense, likes to push teams around, body them up. And if they're calling fouls on St. Mary's, Gonzaga can get dead ball points, and I think that can be the difference in the game.
Yeah, they got it at a 143 here.
Okay, so I to me that kind of, I'm not saying I wouldn't take St. Mary's, but that alters my opinion a little bit on the possibility there, because that means you're talking basically 70, 73, 75 to 68,
something like that.
Yeah, so right in that range.
Mary's 14-1 in conference, Gonzaga 12-3, so Mary's is going to be the 1 seed. I don't think they'll lose to Marymount or somebody. No. So
I don't think so either.
They should probably wrap this up. And the crazy thing is that San Francisco may overtake Gonzaga, right? I mean, if Gonzaga loses here, they're both 12-4, and you never know. You never know what could happen.
I think Gonzaga, they play one more time too, don't they?
The Dons.
Yeah, they play at San Fran at the end of the year.
Yeah, I thought
so. For the 2 seed,
that would be that'd be a bigger deal for sure on that. Then they come to the right there with Chip to play for the, what is it, the Orleans? Is that where they play there? Yeah, I think that's where they play.
Orleans.
Yeah.
So they have 5-6 different venues now for basketball out here. It's outrageous. Between T-Mobile and they're building a new arena too.
Yeah, they're building a new basketball. I saw that.
Yeah.
They have Santa Clara after this, who they already lost to, 103-99.
Yes. Yeah.
They could go 0-3 down the stretch, possibly.
Yeah. You wouldn't think so. One thing that is different though now is if you look at their field goal percentage defense the last 6 games, it's well under 40. Well under. So Gonzaga is really playing good defense. That's why at 143 too, that's another thing. And that might lend itself to an under, especially the way they're playing defense.
63, 55, 77 to San Fran, 61, 53, 62 they allowed. That was a loss to St. Mary's. 60, 62. The defense has them there. I mean, you got 1 game over 70 points, basically. 2. You got the 77. That's all you got. So, yeah, that's not bad when you go over, what's that, 3, 6, 8 games. 1 team scored more than 63 points. I think you're doing all right. You got a shot, I guess.
Now, before I go, I just Sean, did you take those 2 props that I gave out yesterday on the show?
No, I did. You know what? I did not take them.
Yeah, I screwed up.
I did screw up because everything else we had lost.
Hey, I tell you what, horrible information on the Clippers Bucks game though. Horrible. I mean, I checked 3 different sites, and they all said either out or if the questionable. There was a comment underneath it. It said unlikely to play. That's what it said. And then both guys play. Okay, so bad information. What can you do about that? I mean, what did the line close at? I forgot to look. What did the line close at yesterday?
I don't even know.
Yeah, because it was up to 3 for the Clippers. And so once it was announced that those two guys are playing, I'm sure it had to go at least
back to 1, 2, 1. It had to go down.
Somewhere's in there.
That's
so, guys, have a great weekend. Good luck. Knock 'em dead.
Take it easy,
thank you.
And we'll see you on Monday. Take care.
You know, and I did write them down too. The Siakam and the Bain.
Siakam had 4 rebounds and Bain had 23 points. So,
and I wrote them. And I wish I did, because you know what? Our plays, we went 0-3 yesterday in our regular plays there.
So I was happy to cash those myself. So that was the highlight of the day, pretty much. So all right, take care, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah, we'll be wrapping up anyway here with Chip. That was Doug Upstone. Get his Shoot the Rock at gamblersworld.net. We covered the 2 good games today and some marquee games for tomorrow. Chip, tell everybody what you got going on tonight on the site.
Tonight I have the best bet in college and a 3-pack in the NBA. Last night we won our megabuck play. We have another megabuck play in NBA action. And tomorrow, Saturday, I am having a conference game of the year, my second game of the year in college basketball this season. I was 1-0 in December in the Big East, and I'm looking forward to this one tomorrow.
There you go. Chip is number 1 in NBA total money on the site. He's number 3 in college basketball total money on the site. Doing pretty good. Why don't you get on board at gamblersworld.net? I got a 3-pack up of college basketball for tonight, and I'll probably have a 3-pack up for tomorrow. Again, if you buy a pass or whatever, you're going to get all of my games. I just put 3 up because that's what I do. You know, make the smart money move. Get a weekly pass. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not gonna put up 17 packages. No, that's it. That's the show for today. This guy's number 1 and number 3 in basketball. Get a weekend pass from the guy. He's crushing it. Chip, I'll see you on Monday for some NBA, and you'll tell us how you crushed another Megabock winner to be like a 17-2 run or something ridiculous. 8-play, 70% runs this guy. Have a good weekend, Chip. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Bye-bye.